What is up, everyone? Jeremy here. Welcome to another video in the Tone Sample series. In this video, we're going to be checking out the Joey Sturgis Tones Toneforge Jeff Loomis plugin. And now I already know what you're wondering. How does this thing sound? That's why you're here. You want to know how it sounds. So without further ado, let's jump straight into an audio sample that I put together that has clean rhythm and lead tones in it. You can hear for yourself how this thing sounds in a full mix, and then we'll jump into the plugin and the DAW and break down how I put together those tones. All right, so let's just go ahead and pull up Toneforge Jeff Loomis. And before we get into the plugin, I just want to very briefly go over the signal chain for the tone that you heard in the audio sample and that we're going to run through here. It was my Ibanez RG series with a Seymour Duncan Invader pickup in it. Yes, I know some people don't like the Invader. I don't care. I think it sounds awesome, so deal with it. Going from that into the Behringer Ultra DI Pro, into the Focusrite Scarlett audio interface, from there into the Mac, and then we end up in the DAW. So that's the entire signal chain that made up the tone from the audio sample. Now, Toneforge Jeff Loomis. The very first thing that I wanted to go over, or at least point out, is the UI of this plugin is gorgeous. I have been a fan of these Toneforge plugins simply because the UI is beautiful. You know, some of the other plugin manufacturers, not as pretty, I'll say, I guess. But these ones are just beautiful, and they even have this animation when you're playing, like the tubes are lighting up. It's incredible. Like, just here's a quick example. You can see the tubes lighting up. There you go. All right. Okay, so enough about the UI. I think it's pretty. It's a good looking plugin. Moving on, feature overview. Very quickly, just running through a high-level feature overview. There's plenty of other videos out there, and I know I'm kind of late to the game on this one, so this isn't going to be like a super in-depth feature overview. I mean, I think Joey Sturgis Tones, like, they have, I'm sure, probably videos out there describing every single feature in detail. So that's not going to be this video. This is the point of this video is to just show you what kind of tones you can get out of this thing, and how they sit in a mix. So just very briefly, the feature overview though is you have your pre-effects section, or your stomp box section. You have a compressor and an overdrive, and then you go into the amps. You have a clean amp, a rhythm amp, and a lead amp, and then you go into the IR section, and there are a few different IRs you can choose from. So if you select here, you can do the JST matched cab, You have a classic, which gives you options of changing your mics, and then the Behringer digital IRs, which you can see is what I'm using here. And then you can load up your own impulse responses through their IR loader. You can also do dual mode, which allows you to pair them. Moving on to the next, we have the post effects section, and this skybox is pretty damn cool, I will say that. It's got all these different settings. So cloud, it's got a shimmer on it, it's got a plate, it's got blood, whatever the hell blood is. It sounds cool. The name and the actual sound it produces, they both sound cool. And then we have Echo Man, which is obviously a delay. We have the EQ setting, or the EQ, which I personally don't ever use in the plugin. I usually do EQ outside of the plugin, but it's here. And then you have Dynamics, which is essentially a compressor. Again, I don't usually use the EQ or compressor if it's built into the plugins. I just have my own outside of this, which is usually like a channel strip or something, but there it is. And then if you click on where it says signal path down here, you can actually enable or disable different sections of the signal path. All right, so let's check out the tones that you heard in the audio sample and how I put those together. And we'll start with the cleans, because that's what this audio sample started with, is a clean tone. So we'll just solo this here, and let me actually pull up the Toneforge plugin for these cleans so you can see the settings, and we'll walk through them. You can see in the stomp box section, we are using the compressor. In fact, this is the Jeff Loomis Sparkly Clean preset. So I don't really even need to go through all of the different settings. I mean, I'll just kind of quickly jump through them, but you can see the compressor settings, the amp settings, the IR settings, but this is literally just the Sparkly Clean preset built in. Sparkly Clean, there it is. So that makes things easy for you. That is that preset, and this is what it sounds like. It's beautiful. I love it. So let's check out the post effects. Okay, so here I'm going to just quickly play this back and play with some of these skybox settings so you can just kind of get an idea of what this thing is capable of, because it's pretty damn magical. Yeah, so that gives you an idea of some of those, like I put it on the blood, the plate, shimmer, a few of the different options, and they sound really, really good. And then of course, when you start adding in some gain or some like mild breakup, it takes it to a whole nother level, which is the next tone that you're about to hear. And let me get rid of this. I'm just gonna copy this over to reset that. And then the next tone is not a clean tone, but it was paired with the clean tone. It's what starts fading up in right before the actual, everything drops in. Just to kind of refresh you on what I'm talking about here, it's right here. So that right there, where you start hearing that come in, we'll just solo this, and you can hear what this tone sounds like. All right, so that is the solo cutter preset from Behringer Digital in the leads, solo cutter. I don't believe I changed anything. So of course it's all the default settings. So there's not really any point to go through all of the different settings, but I just kind of clicking through and you can see them all there. But this is the solo cutter preset built in, and that is what it sounds like in our mix. So moving on, the rhythm tones. So I'll solo these here real quick, and this is what they sound like. All right, so that is our rhythm tone. Now let's take a look at what I used for this tone. And so this one is a bit of a custom tone. I just left it on default and started dialing it in to where I felt it sounded good in this mix. And so here's the settings I landed on. This is the rhythm amp. If we look at our pre-effects, the stomp boxes, we have the overdrive pedal on, the comp is, the compressor is off. For the overdrive, you can see the balance is all the way up. We've got the tone up to, I don't know, maybe 2 o'clock-ish, and the drive is all the way off. Then we have, again, the rhythm amp. You can see the master is at 58, presence is at 48, bass is at 19, mids at 66, treble 36, gain is pulled way back to 26, and we're on this 6L6 tubes. And then the IRs, I'm using the single mode with the Model 2 Behringer Digital IR. Then obviously nothing happening here in the post effects, no EQ and no compression. So that is the rhythm tone. All right, so moving on to our last tone here, the lead tone. Again, I'll just kind of play this back in the mix and then I'll solo it so you can hear it in both, in context and out of context, and then we'll jump into the Toneforge settings. So here it is in context. All right, and out of context, just soloed. All right, so the settings for this lead tone are actually another preset from Behringer Digital. In the lead folder here, it is the Squirt lead. The Squirt lead. Whatever the hell that means. It is the Squirt lead. You see the settings here. I don't believe I changed anything. So this should be, if you select this preset in the plugin, this should be the tone that you get. You can see overdrive is on. It's the lead amp with those settings. Got a dual mode IR going. Some skybox happening on the plate. Some Echo Man. Maybe some EQ going on. And that is the lead tone. So, well, I mean, that's pretty cool, right? So, you know, getting this plugin, if you're looking for tones similar to what you just heard in this audio sample that I put together, which I think sound pretty crushing, and the lead cuts through the mix so easily, and then those cleed tones with that skybox sound so amazing. Like, those are two of these tones, or actually 3 of them, I think, were mainly presets. You just select the preset and go, and I mean, this thing's damn near mix ready. And then of course the rhythm tone, I couldn't find one necessarily that I felt like was really fitting with what I was looking for, because I typically use, for my rhythm tones, I like to pull back the gain a bit so you get more clarity in what you're doing, and less mud. So I kind of customized that one. But overall, it was pretty simple to dial in these tones and get this crushing sounding guitar tone. It fit well in this mix. So yeah, overall, I was super happy with the results of what this plugin provided. All right, everyone, that is it. That is the Toneforge Jeff Loomis plugin. Hit me down below in the comments section and let me know what your thoughts are on this plugin. How do you think it sounded? How do you think the clean sounded? The rhythms, the leads, the presets that I used? the IRs, all of that. Hit me in the comments, let me know your thoughts. If you dig this content and you're interested in seeing more, I've got a lot more lined up for this channel. So hit that subscribe button down below, and don't forget to hit the bell so you're notified when I upload those new videos. Hit like and share, and as always, thank you for watching and thank you for your support.